What's going on, everybody? My name is Monster, and welcome to our aABL Week 4 battle. Yeah, Week 4 battle. This week we take on Phil and his Wiltshire Wartortles. He had a really scary team in prep, and it was kind of hard to prep for, so so he decides to bring the Clefable, the Mega Steelix, I believe, the Starmie, the Machamp, the Thundurus Therian, and the Zygarde 50%. If you want to have an idea of what I'm bringing, please go check out my team builder. Here I decide to lead Dancy because literally the only thing Dancy didn't beat one-on-one was Steelix, which he actually leads. So I just switched straight into Donphan, which is my defensive wall, and he goes for Heavy Slam. He does a lot more damage to me than I thought he would. I thought Donphan was a little bit heavier than that. But so here I actually don't remember what I go for. I do go for Earthquake, and I get some chip off as he goes for Toxic. That Toxic definitely sucks. This is my main switching into Zygarde, and now that I'm being whittled down, it's not as good. I just double into Infernape because I expected him to Heavy Slam again. I didn't think you guys would see all that. Showdown seems to be lagging, so I'm trying to close stuff out so that it stops. But so he doubles into Thundurus, so I'm kind of scared this is Scarf, so I just switch into my Serena, which is AV, as he goes into Zygarde, and then he doubles back into Thundurus, and I do knock off his Choice Scarf on that switch. So that's very, very nice for me. I now naturally outspeed that with Infernape, so that's really good. And then here I just switch into Jirachi because I'm not sure what he wants to go for, and he goes for U-turn. That would have done some pretty decent damage to me. Here I just kind of decided that getting chip on Zygarde was more worth than anything. I didn't want to allow it to set up in my face. So I just go for Ice Punch, and I do a lot of damage to it, and he just straight up 1,000 arrows, and he kills me. That kind of sucked, but not really. Jirachi wasn't really doing anything else this game, if we're being totally honest. So I think the chip on Zygarde was 100% worth it. Here I go into Braviary, and I go for the U-turn because I expected him to switch into Steelix. And then I just go into Infernape. I'm especially offensive, so I just kill Steelix straight up. I don't know if that crit mattered, if we're being completely honest. I believe my calcs I did at least 61% minimum with a Flamethrower. So I don't think that crit mattered. And then here he goes into Machamp, right? So in my head, when this Machamp came out, I immediately thought it was Scarf 2, right? Because I didn't see any reason for him to go into Machamp on an Infernape, because if he's close combat and he's Scarf, then he 100% of the time OHKOs me. So I switch into Donphan, and he goes for close combat, right? I take a fair amount of damage from that, and then I go into Diancie to take the next close combat. He does a lot of damage to me. And then because I'm thinking that he's locked into close combat, I decide to stay in and try and Moonblast, and he's not locked into it, and he goes for Bullet Punch. That really sucked. Diancie was extremely good this match. It beat Clefable, beat Machamp, if it wasn't Bullet Punch. It beat Thundurus, and it beat Zygarde for sure. So that really sucked. But now that he's at -2 defense, I just go straight into Braviary, which is still very viable in this match. And then I just go for Return, if I recall correctly, because I knew Zygarde was most likely his switch-in, and I do kill it with Return, so that's very nice. Here he goes into Thundurus, suspecting that I'm not Scarf, and I am Scarf, and I kill it, which is really nice. So he gives me Thundurus for free. Here he goes into Clefable, and I'm kind of nervous about what this is going to do, so I kind of scout, and it does go for Moonblast. It does a fair amount of damage to me, but because I'm not too familiar with how Clefable works, or what Clefable's damage output is capable of, I didn't really think anything of it. And then here I go for Knockoff, and I knock off his Life Orb. So now I'm a little concerned about what this Clefable set is, and so here I go for Trop Kick, thinking that I can just get chip off. And he goes for Moonblast again, he crits me. not that big of a deal. I go for Chop Kick again for more chip, and he does have Soft Boiled, so I'm still not quite sure about what the set is. It's like Moonblast with Life Orb, so he's obviously Magic Guard. And I go for Chop Kick again, and then here he shows off the Calm Mind. So he's like, now that I know what he is, he's like max special attack, modest, Life Orb, Calm Mind, Clefable. This is one of those things where whenever I see a mon like Clefable, I automatically assume that it's a bulky variant. So this caught me really off guard. I had no idea what I wanted to do about this. He makes the correct play and soft boils on my switch into Braviary. So I just do as much damage as I can to this thing with Brave Bird. I do a lot of damage to it, but he just straight up OHKOs me, so this is really bad right now. And then I just go into Infernape, and I set up a Nasty Plot. This is a 50-50 play. He either could have soft boiled, or he could have went for Moonblast. I had to take this 50-50 if I wanted to win the game, because I had to Fire EMZ at +2 in order to kill Clefable. At the HP, it would have been after it soft boiled, and he actually doesn't go for soft boiled there, and he straight up OHKOs me. Also, if he was max special attack modest, that was a 50-50 roll on me. So like he wouldn't have killed Infernape, because it was a straight up 50-50 roll to kill Infernape. So it was a 50-50 play for him to even go for Moonblast, and then it was a 50-50 roll if he if he went for Moonblast and on Infernape, and he ends up doing both. So that really, really sucked. I guarantee lose the game from this point. I cannot win at all. It's not even possible. So that really, really sucks. I get caught off guard by these sets, and it's really annoying. Like I feel like there's no way I could have expected max HP, max special attack, modest, Life Orb, Clefable, like with Calm Mind no less. So like that sucked for real. At +2, I could have Fire EMZ'd the Starmie, and it would have killed the Starmie. And I would have, at +2, I would have been able to KO Clefable without using Fire EMZ. So, but like at the same time, Starmie does outspeed me. So like, I don't know if it was possible for me to win this game. Like, I really feel like I got destroyed by a set that almost nobody would run. I just get caught off guard by these, like, I don't want to say they're necessarily weird, because like Clefable obviously does get Magic Guard, so like it going Life Orb makes sense, but Clefable, like 90% of the time, is just max HP, max defense, bold, with like soft boiled and stuff like that. It's generally bulky. It's not generally offensive, and this Clefable was extremely offensive. It was like max offense with setup. So like, I don't know what I could have done about this. Losing Deancey was probably the biggest mistake I made this game, but honestly, like, I had no reason to believe that he wasn't Scarf at that point. So yeah, so we take another L in aABL. I'm extremely disappointed with the way we're playing. Like this is not an acceptable level of play at all, and it really sucks. But yeah, so we are 1-3 with some random negative differential. I don't even know anymore. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video, and have a good day.